To begin, step to the front of the mat for Tadasana. Take a few Ujjayi breaths here. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Alternatively, you could place the feet hip-width apart if it is more comfortable. Legs strong and straight without locking the knees. Give a slight back bend to open the heart to the sky. Feel the breath in the back of your throat and breathe out with a long ha as if fogging a mirror. Remember to stay engaged in the pose. There are no passive poses in yoga. Legs strong, grounding you to the earth, spine extending, reaching your crown to the sky. Interlace the fingers and bring them under the chin, thumbs facing the throat. On an inhale, raise the elbows, tuck the chin, fill the lungs, and pause a moment. Slowly release the breath, raise the chin, and touch the elbows, giving slightly more back bend if comfortable. Completely empty the lungs and pause a moment before repeating. Inhale, tuck the chin, elbows up, pause. Exhale, raise the chin, lower the elbows, pause. Repeat at your own pace for a few rounds, completely filling the lungs from the top down. Feel the chest and abdomen expand, holding the breath. Empty the lungs from the bottom up. Feel the belly pull in and hold. Continue moving and breathing. Feel the breath on the back of your throat. We will use Ujjayi pranayama throughout the postures. Take this time to set an intention for the practice and stay focused on it as long as it serves you during the practice. On your next exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Resume your normal breathing pattern. Inhale to Tadasana. Exhale. Inhale, arms up, palms together. Exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana. Inhale, look up halfway, shoulders relaxed, back straight for Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, Chaturanga, step back to plank. Strong legs and belly. Exhale to low plank, hover here, come to the knees if needed. Inhale, flip the toes to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Flip the toes, exhale to Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Heels reach for the floor, slight bend in the knees if needed to keep the back straight. Inhale, step the right foot forward to Alanasana, crescent lunge. Knee over the ankle, not past it. Up on the toes of the left foot, hands shoulder width apart up to the sky. You can take the left knee to the mat if needed, or put the heel down and turn the foot out 45 degrees to Virabhadrasana. Exhale, fingers interlaced behind the back, chest opens to the sky. Inhale, bring the hands back to prayer at heart. Exhale and twist, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee for Parivrita Alanasana. Legs strong. If you can't get the elbow past the knee, just turn to the right as far as possible. Remember, we don't want pain, but it shouldn't be too easy. Inhale, bring the hands back to the heart. Exhale, bring the hands to the mat on the inside of the right leg for lizard pose. Send the left leg out long behind you on the mat. Stay here or lower to the forearms. Make sure the front knee is not past the ankle. Back leg is straight. Stay here for a few breaths. On an inhale, come back up on the hands. Tuck the toes and lift the left leg. Step the right leg back to plank. Chaturanga. Exhale, lower down and hover. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a few breaths in down dog here if needed, before we repeat for the other side. Inhale, step the left foot forward to crescent lunge or Alanasana. Knee over the ankle, up on the toes of the right foot, hands shoulder width apart, to the sky. Take the right knee to the mat here if needed, or to Warrior One. Exhale the fingers, interlace behind the back, chest opens to the sky. Inhale, return hands to heart center in prayer. Exhale and twist, bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, Parivrita Alanasana. Remember, twist as far as you can without feeling pain. Inhale the hands to the heart. Exhale, hands to the mat on the inside of the left leg for lizard pose. Right leg out long behind you. Knee over the ankle. You can stay here or lower down onto the forearms for a few breaths, deepening into the stretch. On an inhale, come back up to the hands. Tuck the toes. Lift the right leg and step the left leg back to plank. Exhale for Chaturanga, lower down and hold. Inhale to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up dog. Exhale back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Take a few breaths in down dog here, keeping the knees bent if needed to get the back straight. Arms strong, heels reaching for the mat. On an inhale, look up and step or hop the feet between the hands. Look up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold all the way forward for Uttanasana. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale, roll the shoulders back to Tadasana. Exhale, the hands to prayer at heart. Inhale, hands up overhead, fingers interlock, release the pointer fingers to the sky. For a warm-up, tuck the tailbone, send the hips to the left a little bit, the hands reach right. Switch and send the hips to the right, hands to the left, going a little further each time. Do 7 on each side and come back to center, keeping the hands raised. Tuck the tailbone, hips forward. Begin to push the hips left while reaching as far to the right as possible. Keep lifting and reaching, rounding the spine. Keep the arms glued to the ears. Keep breathing, keep pushing the hips for a total of 20 seconds here. Keep pushing a little further, breathing, folding deeper. Inhale back upright, hands to the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone. Begin to push the hips to the right while reaching as far to the left as possible. Keep lifting and reaching, rounding the spine slightly. Keep the arms glued to the ears. Keep breathing, pushing the hips further, bending further to the side. Inhale back upright, reaching toward the ceiling. With the arms still reaching upright, look up across the fingertips. Inhale, fill the lungs completely for 80-20 breathing. Relax the neck and shoulders. If you have back issues, you can stay right here. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale and reach back towards the space behind you, only moving as far as your body comfortably allows. Keep breathing small breaths in the posture. Keep the glutes engaged, neck relaxed. Lifting with the heart, push the hips forward. Hold while continuing 80-20 breathing. Continue pushing the hips forward, taking the gaze backwards, following the fingertips. Continue to breathe, folding a little deeper each time. Inhale, back up, pause at center. Continue to fold forward, exhaling fully, extending the spine all the way. Bend the knees as deeply as you can, and glue the abdomen to the thighs for this posture if possible. Reach down and grab your big toes with the first 2 fingers, wrapping them under the toe, thumbnail to big toenail for Padangustasana. Reach up through the legs to straight if possible. Keep the knees bent if needed to keep the back straight. Stay for a few breaths, pushing up through the legs to straighten the knees and pulling the body tight to the thighs with the arms. On an inhale, release the toes and look up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, fingertips to the mat. Exhale, lift the front of the feet simultaneously, bend the knees and put the hands palm up under each foot for Padahastasana. The goal is toes to wrists, but only go as far as comfortable. Shift the weight back toward the toes. Keep pushing to straighten the legs while keeping the torso pressed to the thighs, back straight. Hold for a few breaths. It is okay for the knees to be bent. Just keep the legs engaged, trying to straighten them. Push up with the legs, pull down with the arms. On an inhale, release the hands. Look up halfway to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands come back together. Inhale, come up, straight legs, straight spine, reaching for the front wall, extending the spine as we come all the way up. Keep reaching for the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands back to prayer at heart. Inhale, roll the shoulders back to Tadasana. Turn to face the right side of the room. Inhale the arms up overhead, palms pressed. Exhale, take a large step out to the right, about 4 feet distance between the feet, and bring the arms out on either side of us, parallel to the mat. Feet should be parallel facing forward. The torso is upright, lifting through the spine, heart lifted. Turn the right foot to the back of the mat 90 degrees. Inhale, sitting deep into a lunge for Virabhadrasana. The right knee should be above or behind the ankle. Torso is upright, not leaning in any direction. The arms are one long line, looking across the right fingertips. Left leg is planted straight out behind us, left foot flat on the mat. Breathe, feeling strong, heart is open, leg muscles rotating outward while the feet stay strongly rooted. Inhale, lift the right arm toward the sky, bring the left hand to the left thigh or to the lower back for Viparita Virabhadrasana. Sit a little deeper into your lunge, keeping the knee over the ankle. Relax the neck. Exhale the arms back parallel across the mat to Virabhadrasana 2. Look back across the left fingertips. Flip the palms up. Exhale, lean forward from the hips, bringing the right fingertips to the mat, and the left hand reaches to the ceiling for bent knee Trikonasana. If this is too challenging, you can also just rest the forearm on the thigh or place a block inside the bent leg and place the hand there. Keep the hips square, bent knee over the ankle, shoulders stack. Inhale, back up to Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten the right leg, turn the foot back forward, keeping the arms out strong. If it becomes too much for the arms, feel free to bring them to the hips. Turn the left foot 90 degrees to the front of the mat. Inhale, sitting deep into the lunge for Virabhadrasana 2. Again, the knee should be above or behind the ankle. Torso is upright, not leaning. Arms are one long straight line, looking across the left fingertips. Breathe, heart is open, leg muscles engaged. Feel strongly rooted to the mat. Inhale, lift the left arm to the sky, bring the right hand to the right thigh or lower back for Viparita Virabhadrasana. Sit a little deeper into your lunge, shoulders relaxed. Exhale the arms back parallel across the mat to Virabhadrasana 2. Look back across the right fingertips. Flip the palms up. Exhale, lean forward from the hips, bringing the left fingertips to the mat, right hand to the ceiling. If this is challenging, rest the forearm on the thigh or place a block inside the bent leg. Keep the hips square, knee over the ankle, shoulders stacked. Inhale back up to Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten the left leg, turn the foot forward. Keep the legs wide, 4 feet distance or so, for Prasarita Pradottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead, slight back bend, opening up the heart. Exhale, fold forward, place the hands on the mat. Bend the knees or use blocks to keep the back straight. Deep breaths, legs strong, fold deeper. If you have blood pressure issues, keep the torso parallel to the floor and the head at or above heart level. Inhale halfway up, hands to the hips. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees if needed. Stay for a few breaths. Inhale up to standing. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, slight back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Draw the shoulder blades together, bringing the hands over the head. Bend the knees if needed, careful not to hyperextend the elbows. Take a few breaths here. Inhale up halfway, release the hands, and bring the fingertips to the mat. Grab the big toes with the first 2 fingers, thumbnails to big toenails. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees if needed, legs pushing to straighten, arms pulling the torso down. Stay here for a few breaths. Release the hands. Exhale, hands to hip. Inhale up all the way. Bring the feet in further to shorten the stance to just outside the shoulders. Turn the right foot to face the back of the mat. Pick the left foot up and shift it over to a walking stance about shoulder width to prepare for Parivrita Trikonasana. Bring the hands to the hips to check that the hips are square to the shoulders. Inhale, left arm reaches up, open the heart, slight back bend if you like. Exhale, fold forward, reaching for the back wall as we come down. Place the left hand on the mat or on a block. You can stay right here if twisting is an issue. Rotate the right shoulder open, stacking the shoulders, twisting the spine. We can stay here, or we can extend the right hand up to the ceiling, and eventually you may be able to gaze up across the fingertips. Breathe in, stay here for a few breaths. Return both hands to the mat. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, straight spine, come all the way up. Pivot to the center of the mat. Turn the left foot to face the front of the mat. Pick the right foot up and shift it over to walking stance. Bring the hands to the hips to check to make sure the hips are square. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Open the heart, slight back bend. Exhale, fold forward, reaching for the back wall as we fold down. Right hand to the mat or a block. Stay here if twisting is an issue. Rotate the left shoulder open, stacking the shoulders, twist the spine. Stay here or extend the left hand up to the ceiling, gaze goes across the fingertips. Stay here, breathe. Both hands come to the mat. Exhale, both hands to the hips. Inhale, straight spine all the way up. Pivot to the center of the mat. Pivot to the back of the mat, back to your walking stance, hips square. In this pose, we'll engage the bandhas or the locks. For more details on bandhas, refer to the bandha video. Inhale, arms overhead. Interlace the fingers. Release the index fingers. 3 locks. Inhale, lift the pelvic floor like a Kegel for Mula Bandha. Engage the abdomen, belly button goes in and up for Uddiyana Bandha. Chin locks to the chest for Jalandhara Bandha. Hold these locks for the entire pose. The pose can be done without the locks if you are pregnant. Exhale, slowly roll the spine down, placing the fingers on the mat or a block. Keep holding the locks, keep breathing. The goal here is to bring the forehead to the knee while holding the locks. If you need to bend the knee to get the forehead to the knee, feel free to do so. Continue breathing, continue holding the locks. Hands together, keep holding the locks. Inhale, roll the spine up. Once all the way up, release the pelvic floor, release the abdomen, release the chin. Keeping the hands up and together, pivot to the center of the mat. Pivot to the front, back in the walking stance. Engage the locks. Pelvic floor, belly button in and up, chin to the chest. Hold the locks. Exhale, roll the spine down. Fingers to the mat or block. Keep holding the locks. Keep breathing. Forehead to the knee. Remember, if you need to bend the knee to do so, please do. Keep holding the locks. Keep breathing. Hands together, holding the locks. Inhale, roll the spine up. Once all the way up, release the pelvis, release the abdomen, release the chin. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Pivot back to center. Pivot one more time to face the back of the mat, hips square in our walking stance. Bring the hands behind your back into reverse prayer position. If you cannot get into reverse prayer, reach for opposite elbows. Inhale, slight back bend, open the heart. Hands or arms gently pressing into the back. Exhale, keep the slight back bend as you fold forward, leading with the heart until the torso is parallel to the mat. In this pose, the legs remain straight. Don't round the spine, but keep reaching the crown of the head toward the back wall. The goal is to fold forward far enough to bring the chin to the shin, but only fold as far as you are able to while keeping the leg and the spine straight. Inhale back up, pivot to center, pivot left into your walking stance facing the front of the mat, hands or arms still behind you. Inhale, slight back bend, opening the heart, pressing into the back. Exhale, keeping the slight back bend, fold forward, lead with the heart, torso parallel to the mat, legs straight, back straight. Keep reaching the crown of the head toward the back wall. Keep the legs and the spine straight while you fold deeper, trying to get the chin to the shin. Keep breathing, keep folding. Inhale back up. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Release the arms. Inhale, arms overhead, palms press. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, roll the shoulders back to Tadasana. Standing at the middle of the mat, we will step the feet about hip distance apart, feet parallel to the mat. Take a deep breath. Roll the shoulders back, opening the heart. Bring the arms out in front of us, palms facing the mat. Keep the arms strong and engaged. Inhale. Begin to sit into an imaginary chair for Utkatasana. Sit as deep as you can until the thighs are about parallel to the mat, keeping the back straight. Check the knees, make sure they're not going beyond the toes or coming in together. If the knees have a tendency to come together, you can place a block between them to keep the space. Hold here for a few breaths, keeping the legs strong, the back straight, dropping as far as you can to try and get the thighs parallel to the mat. Come up onto the tiptoes, arms up, palms out for Jityasana, victory pose. The whole body stretches to the sky. Stay here for a breath. Inhale, staying on the tiptoes, bring the hands back out in front of you and sit back into your imaginary chair again for awkward pose. This is just like chair pose, but we will remain up on the toes. Sink the glutes closer to the heels. This is a prime example of practicing asteya or non-cheating in your practice. You're here already, so don't cheat yourself out of the benefits of chair. Staying up on the toes, come back up to Jityasana. Feel victorious here. You've just conquered chair pose for the day. Come back down onto the heels. Exhale, bring the right arm under the left. Wrap the arms and bring the palms together. Elbows down, arms in the center of the body. If this is too challenging, you can always reach for opposite shoulders. Inhale, sit back down into chair position, then bring the right leg over the left, and if you're able, tuck the right foot behind the ankle. If this is overly challenging, you're welcome to just keep both feet on the mat and sit back into the chair while binding the arms. Hold for a few breaths. Inhale back up to Jityasana. Bring the heels back down. Exhale, bring the left arm under the right. Wrap the arms and bring the palms together. Elbows down, arms in the center of the body. If this is too challenging, you can always reach for the opposite shoulders. Inhale, start to sit back into chair position. Bring the left leg over the right. If you're able, tuck the left foot behind the right ankle. If this is overly challenging again, just keep both feet on the mat, or you can cross the leg over and instead of tucking it behind, rest the toes on a block. Stay here for a few breaths. Release the binds. Inhale back up to Jityasana. Lower the heels. Exhale the hands to heart. Inhale to Tadasana. Bring both hands to the hips. Inhale, bend the right knee, thigh parallel to the mat, toes flexed up toward the ceiling. Grab the knee with the right hand, heart is open. You can stay right here. This is an excellent way to build up to Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Keep holding the knee, or reach down and grab the big toe with the first 2 fingers on the right hand, straightening the knee as much as possible. Remain here for a few breaths. Now take the leg out to the side. Whether you're holding the knee or the toe, either is fine. Open the leg out to the right as far as possible and remain here for a few breaths. Return the leg to center and release your hand, either keeping or extending the leg straight out in front of you, hands to the hips. Keep the leg straight out in front of you for 5 breaths. Lift a little higher on each breath. Lift from the hip without tucking the tailbone under. Keep breathing. One last push. Lift as high as possible. Slowly lower the leg to the mat. Inhale. Bend the left knee. Thigh parallel to the mat. Toes flexed up to the ceiling. Grab the knee with the left hand. Again, stay here if needed. Or reach down and grab the big toe with the first 2 fingers of the left hand, straightening the knee as much as possible. Stay here for a few breaths. Alternatively, you could use a strap here to help keep the back straight and extend the knee further. Now again, take the leg out to the side. Whether you have the knee or the toe is fine. Open the leg as far as possible to the left and remain here for a few breaths. Bring the leg back center, hands to the hips, legs straight out in front. Hold for 5 breaths again, lifting a little higher on each breath. Keep lifting, keep your right leg strong. On your last breath, lift the leg a little higher, push as high as possible. Exhale, slowly bring the foot back to the mat. Inhale, bring the right thigh parallel to the mat again for Dandayama Janu Shirshasana. Engage the standing leg, the standing glutes, and the abdomen. You can stay here and interlace the fingers around the knee, roll the shoulders back, heart is open. Or to move further, interlace the fingers underneath the foot and round the spine. Again, you can stay here, or you can begin to straighten the right leg out in front, keeping the standing leg strong. Eventually, we can begin to bring the forehead down to meet the knee. If you fall over, it's okay. Just get back up, get back into the pose. Keep breathing, keep feeling good where you're at. When you're ready, exhale, release the hands back to the hips, lower the foot to the mat. Inhale, left thigh parallel to the mat. Engage the standing leg, standing glutes, strong through the core. Interlace the fingers around the knee, roll the shoulders back, heart is open. Again, feel free to stay here or move further by interlacing the fingers underneath the foot. You can also use a strap here to help with the pose and keep the back straight. Stay here or begin to straighten the left leg out in front, keeping the standing leg strong. Eventually, bring the forehead down to meet the knee. Again, if you fall over, it's not a problem. Just get back into the pose. Keep breathing. Keep pushing forward. Stay in the pose for a few breaths. Exhale. Release to Tadasana. Inhale, left arm up to the ceiling. Right elbow to the hip. Bending the arm, palm up. For Dandayamana Dhanurasana, standing bow or dancer's pose. Firm up the left leg. And we're going to bend the right knee, bringing the right heel to the glute. Reach the right arm straight back to grab the foot or ankle from the inside. You can also use a strap here if needed. Exhale, begin to fold forward, reaching for the front wall. Kick your right leg up and back, pushing the foot into the palm. Look across the fingertips and breathe. Keep the standing leg strong. Keep pushing the right leg high. Focus, find stillness here in order to find your balance. Remember, if you fall out of the posture, just come right back into it. Hold here for a few breaths. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, release. Inhale, bring the right arm to the ceiling, the left elbow to the hip, bending the arm again, palm up. Firm up the right leg, bend the left knee, bringing the left heel to the glute. Reach the arm straight back and grab the foot or ankle from the inside, again using a strap if needed. Exhale, begin to fold forward, reaching for the front wall with the right arm, kicking the left leg up and back, look across the right fingertips and breathe. Keep your standing leg strong, keep pushing the left leg into the hand and pulling with the arm to create a counter force. If you fall, get right back into the pose and keep going. Hold here for a few breaths. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, release. Inhale, roll the shoulders back to Tadasana. Come to the back of the mat, standing tall in Tadasana. Inhale the arms overhead, interlacing the fingers and releasing the index fingers. Arms frame the ears. Take a small step forward with the right foot. Come up onto the left toes. Reach high to the sky, lifting with the heart. You can always stay right here. Or begin to exhale, folding forward, eventually aiming to bring the body parallel to the mat, extending the fingers forward to the front wall and reaching the toes toward the back wall. Fold as far as you are able, keeping the hips square to the mat. Be careful not to let the hips swing open to the sky. Stay here for a few breaths. Inhale all the way back up, keeping the arms up. Take a small step forward with the left foot, coming up onto the right toes. We are reaching to the sky, lifting with the heart. Again, you can stay right here, or begin to fold forward, exhaling, bringing the back leg up, eventually aiming to bring the body parallel to the mat. Fingers extend toward the front wall, toes reach to the back wall. Fold as far as you are able, remembering to keep the hips square. Stay here for a few breaths and breathe into the pose, bending a little further with each breath. Inhale all the way back up, come to Tadasana. Bring the hands to the hips for Vriksasana or tree pose. Shift your weight to the left leg, bend the right knee and turn it outward. You can keep the toes on the mat here, or bring the right foot to the inside of the left calf, the inner thigh, or up into the left hip. Never rest the foot on the knee here to avoid injury. Bring the hands to heart center, or hold on to the foot with the left hand if needed. Keep the abdomen engaged and the tailbone tucked. Inhale the arms up overhead. Take a moment here to breathe and check in with your body. Exhale, release. Bring the hands to the hips. Shift your weight to the right leg. Bend the left knee and turn it outward. You can keep the toes on the mat here, or bring the foot to the inside of the right calf, the inner thigh, or up into the right hip, but again, not on the knee. Bring the hands to heart center or hold the foot with the hand if needed. Keep the abdomen engaged, tailbone tucked. Inhale the arms up overhead. Take a moment here to breathe and check in with your body. Exhale, release. Inhale to Tadasana. Step the feet to the outside edges of the mat with the toes pointed slightly outward, about a 45-degree angle. Inhale the arms up and exhale to heart center. On your next inhale, come all the way down into a deep squat, making sure that our feet stay flat on the mat. If we have knee issues, we can stay about halfway up or wherever feels best for you. Alternatively, you can put a block down and squat and sit down onto the block. From the squat, press the elbows into the thighs and lift with the heart. Maybe gently rock from side to side here. This is excellent for our hip joints. If you are able, feel free to move into crow or a headstand here. You can move into Bakasana or crow by folding forward and placing the hands on the mat beneath the shoulders, elbows bent. Place the knees up onto the backs of the arms. Find your balance here. Then try to lift one foot, then both. You can also move further into a headstand or any other variation you would like. Remember that it's okay to fall. Falling is how we learn. Stay in your posture here for a few breaths. Come back to the mat and lay back for Savasana. Feel free to take a water break here. Lay back flat on the mat, feet separated, laying to the side, arms at our sides, palms up for Savasana. We'll take a break here before moving on through the rest of the series. Relax into your mat, check in with your body. Feel from your head all the way down to your feet, checking that all your muscles are relaxed. Let your body melt into the mat. Continue your breathing. Feel your stomach expand on your inhales. Feel it contract on your exhales. Continue breathing. Rest here for just a moment.